So in last session, we had seen how we design this network on paper and what is the VPC, what are the subnets, what are the route table, what's the internet gateway. Let's see in this stuff. Now we're going to design the same thing on the AWS infrastructure. We are just not going to do with the instances right now. We will do instances in the next section. In this section, we are just going to design the VPCs, subnets, security groups, route tables, and the internet gateway. So let's get started. First, aws.amazon.com. Sign in. Go to services. In the network side, you will get a service called as VPC, right? So network content delivery, we get a VPC service. So please select the VPC service. Right. So go to the VPCs. When you come to the VPC dashboard, you will get to see the first VPC. Right? That's the default VPC. You will not get to see any name over there. It will be like this. So do the first thing, name it as the default. And enter. Right? On the left side, you will get your subnets. So same thing, you will not get to see any name for your subnets. So first provide the name for each subnet, the default. So that will be easy for the identification. That is a route table. So I named it the default RT. That's for default route table. Then internet gateway. And I named it as the default IG for my default internet gateway. Right? So that's for default. Let's create our custom gateways. Again, I'm on my VPC and clicked on create VPC. My name tag for the VPC I can set as project red, right? A CIDR block I can provide as a 192.168.0.0/16. So let's put it over here, 192.168.0.0/16. And you can see I'm just doing the whole thing in the Northern Virginia region. You can select the same one, or if you want to select the other, you can select other. But the maximum services are available in the Northern Virginia, so I'm selecting that. And the CIDR block, I don't want to use the CIDR block. About the tenancy basically is like if you are accessing some of the resources, if you are using some resources of AWS, are the resources are shared or all the resources are dedicated? That is a tenancy. A default means the resources that you are going to consume will be all shared, right? The same resources will be shared with the other customers as well. And the dedicated, the resources that you are going to use, it's all dedicated, right? So right now we are going to the default and create shared resources. So my project red, a VPC is created. This is my CIDR value, 192.168.0.0/16. Now in this VPC, I want two subnets. I want a public subnet. I want a private subnet. So let's create it. The subnets and click on create a subnet. First subnet I can put as public red. VPC is my VPC red. Availability zone. So subnets are the AZ based, availability zone based, right? And you can select any one of the availability zone, right? Availability zone we have to design whilst designing the availability and the fault tolerance, right? But right now we are not thinking about the availability and fault tolerance, so you can select any one of it. So I'm selecting the first one, CIDR block. As per my design, I'm selecting 192.168.1.0/24 and create. Close it. Done. So my public thread is created. Let's create a private thread. So create subnet, make it private thread. A VPC is a project thread. Availability zone, again select the same one, 1A. CIDR block 192.168.2.0/24 and click on create. So I have two subnets with me, a public RAID and a private RAID. Let's filter it. Yes, now I filtered it as per my VPC. So in my project RAID, I have these two subnets with me, and this is the CIDR range, right? So now I have a subnet with me, then I will need an internet gateway. Once I get internet gateway, then I can use a route table to do the entry of internet gateway. So select and click on internet gateways. So there is one internet gateway available. So let's create one. The name is Red IG, that's Red Internet Gateway, right? Tags are default. It's okay. Just create an internet gateway. So once your internet gateway is created, you can see it is detached. It is not attached to any of the VPC. So go to the action and select the attach to the VPC. Select your VPC, that's my project Red, and attach the internet gateway. So you can see it is attached. It is attached to the project Red. Right? I have VPCs, I have internet gateway. So let's add a route table over there. Click on the route tables, right? As you can see, a default artist was already there. A new route table is created for the VPC when I created a VPC. So that's a default for the RAID. So let's call it default RAID. Right? Now we are not going to use this one. We are going to create a new for our subnets. So create a route table, name as public RAID RT for public RAID route table for my public subnet, because I will need other route table for my private subnet, but not for now. So for now, I'm just going to create one that's for public routing, public RT for public route table. Then VPC is my project RAID and create, close it. So my public RAID RT is created, right? Once it is created, attach one side to the public subnet and the other side to the internet gateway. So you have to create the attachment. How to do that? First, go to the subnet association, edit subnet association, and associate it with the public route table, not to the private, only the public RAID, and save it. Done. So it is associated. Going to the routes. Now, it just have a single route that is for local routing. So any machine inside the subnet can connect to any of the machine in the VPC. So the internal VPC routing is already enabled in table. So we are going to add new one. So edit routes. Where you want to go? Here, and we want to go to the internet on 0.0.0.0/0, right? So our destination is internet 0.0.0.0/0. Through what? I'm going to the internet through my internet gateway. So internet gateway and thread into that's the RAID IG. Save your routes. Done. Right? So my RAID public RAID RT is created to this VPC. Done. Right? So I have a VPC, two subnets, route table, and internet gateway. Now, this is a task to create these three security groups. The first will be for your web server, the other will be for the jump server, and then will be your database server. We discussed in previous video how should be the rules. So let's create. Going to the security groups. Right. So these are some of the default security groups. So let's create a security group. So group name. So let's create first for a web server. So WebSG. Let it call it red WebSG. Description for web server. VPC is my red VPC. Inbound rule. So for the inbound rule, I need to open the port HTTP. then SSH, and then all ISIM-IPv4 for the ping test. So for the HTTP, I will allow from anywhere. From the SSH, I will just allow from internal network. This is 192.168.0.0/16, and same for the ICMP as well, right? And create a security group. Done. Now let's create other security group for the for the DB server and for the jump server. So create a security group. Name is as red DB SG. Description for database servers. VPC is your red VPC. Inbound rule. So for this is a Linux machine. So again SSH. Then the application that we are using the MySQL. So MySQL, and then all I say before just for the ping test, and all will be only for the internal network because this is the whole private machine. Done. And create a security group. That's done. Now let's create a security group for the jump server. So create a security group. So called as the raid jump SG. Server. A VPC is a red VPC. Inbound rule. This is the Windows machine. So I will just allow the RDP. So RDP all over the internet. That's a 0.0.0.0/0. Now, I already told you when you're doing for the enterprise level, don't use this IP address. You will use only my. So it will detect your IP, and that is my IP address. So for me, it is a dynamic IP, so I'm not going to select it. But for you, if you're using for the enterprise level, you have to select that. So for me, I'm using 0.0.0.0/0, right? And create a security group. Done. So I have the 3 security groups with me. Let's filter it. So I have a default in my red VPC, then I have red jump SG, then red DBSG, and red WebSG, right? So this design is ready. A VPC, 2 subnets, internet gateway, router, and 3 security groups. That's it, right? So that was about the VPC, right? It is a short part of the VPC. We are again moving to the VPC when we are designing the availability and fault tolerance, and again for the scalability as well. Right now we are leaving it and we are moving towards the compute services.